that a lot of nations are taking severe matters or severe decisions on handling immigration.
Now to that story on the shooting involving immigration agents. Tonight, we're hearing from one of the people inside that vehicle when it happened.
There are still a number of illegal foreigners, and the activities that are being done by illegal foreigners has become unbearable.
Salbonani Molweni, how are you everybody who is watching? I've got a lot of insults coming from Zimbabwean brothers, and I understand that when I started to say let's go home, you were going to speak that way, and you were going to be very negative because you are comfortable wherever you are. But let me give you a warning, because I am into leadership of some institutes in South Africa, and I'm into following updates of what is happening and what will happen. If you can check most of my videos, my previous videos for the past years, I used to give warnings, and it happened. I want to tell Zimbabweans that the time for hiding is going to be over soon, because
you had an opportunity to defend this man and you let him hang.
In light of recent developments, I am announcing that I will be taking charge of Zimbabwe Public Police with immediate effect.
Chris Exer went as far as doing this for him.
This is Lieutenant Aaron Kwanas, the Provincial Commissioner of the South African Police Service in KwaZulu-Natal.
The country. And if you think you are very clever and wise, We Love Zimbabwe is still here. We will forgive you because we know what kind of people we are dealing with. And we don't have a problem with those people who would think twice. But people who are thinking that it is funny, trust me, there is a big pressure which is coming. They will use force door by door in the streets. No one is going to be safe.
Yo, what's happening, guys? It's your boy Uncle Pete with another episode of Uncle Pete's podcast. Guys, I know it's been a minute. I was down bad with the nastiest flu and a cough. I tried to record, but every minute, every 30 seconds whatsoever, I would just start coughing. And I didn't think it was professional. I didn't think it was the way to make the show. Guys, there's a lot happening. There's a lot happening. And people are getting too excited about unnecessary things. First thing is first. This is actually a funny one. So somebody sent me this video and they're like, yo, dude, you need to react to this video because this is really serious. So let me play the video and then I'll tell you guys why it's very important to do your research the way I do and not jump at everything that you see on social media.
Guys, the president has resigned. And you all know that. President wrote a letter. The people who work with him, the people who typed his speech, told me it's done, Chief. We're done. We're just waiting for the time to call a press conference. It's done. Until a faction went to persuade him the same day not to resign. His conscience has concluded that he doesn't have what it takes to be a president. The body might be there. The guy is gone. He wrote, Cyril, if we're to conduct the raid now in his offices or homes, we're going to find a...
So guys, basically, a lot of you have sent me this video. This video, I believe, is from 2002. Yes, it's not a recent video. It's very important when I bring you guys the news that I do my research, because trust me, people are waiting for me to bring you guys content that is old, that is apparently old news, in order for them to question my credibility. So with that out of the way, the one thing that is not old news is the fact that Zimbabwe is a failed state and it's failing dismally. the fact that they are counting on the human rights commissions to protect them to live in a country that does not want them, it's extremely shocking. But it looks like South Africa is waking up.
Last week, the Southern Africa Refugee Organization Forum filed an urgent application in the Durban High Court seeking for the judiciary to put an end to blockages of immigrants who have been prevented from accessing the healthcare system since July this year.
Our application, which we brought to court, is to interdict the March and March and the Operation Dudula members from denying the refugees and asylum seekers, in a particular documented one, from accessing the health facilities. In the incidents which has been happening, we saw them operating around and outside the hospitals and the clinic, and no one seems to care.
He says no one seems to care. First of all, he definitely sounds Zimbabwean. And the fact that they have the stamina and the energy to fight for their rights in somebody else's country and not their own, it is extremely shocking. But for how long are we going to be shocked and just accept the truth that there is no hope in that country and their only hope is South Africa? But unfortunately, South Africans are not having it, and they refuse to allow the Human Rights Commission and foreigners to think they have more power than South Africans.
Thank you very much, and greetings to your viewers. We are very happy and excited with the manner in which the court dealt with this matter. Because since they say that is an urgent matter, and the court says there is nothing urgent about this matter, because they said they should have brought it around July when we started doing this activity.
Now, guys, for those of you who are a little confused, the reason why the court decided this matter is not urgent is because a lot of foreigners undermined South Africans' ability to continue doing what they are doing. What March and Operation Dudula are doing has happened before, but the unfortunate reality and truth is at some stage they stop. This time around, they are not stopping. The moment they realize that, oh, wait a minute, what's going on here? These niggas ain't stopping. They immediately decided, let's go to the courts. The courts then were like, baba. When they started, you should have came. You are coming now because you realize that it's not stopping. And they keep pushing. And the reality is, it's not an urgent matter. The reason why it's not an urgent matter, and this is what illegal foreigners or immigrants are refusing to understand. Public services are for permanent residents and citizens of South Africa. Taxpayers, asylum seekers, refugees do not pay tax. Guys, we're not going to talk about VAT anymore. Please. Thank you very much. Now, you have two choices. You can either go back home or you can legalize yourself in this country. But the problem is legalizing yourself here is becoming extremely difficult because the number of illegal foreigners and the activities that are being done by illegal foreigners has become unbearable.
Salbonani Molweni, how are you everybody who is watching? I've got a lot of insults coming from Zimbabwean brothers, and I understand that when I started to say let's go home, you were going to speak that way, and you were going to be very negative because you are comfortable wherever you are. But let me give you a warning, because I am into leadership of some institutes in South Africa, and I'm into following updates of what is happening and what will happen. If you can check most of my videos, my previous videos for the past years, I used to give warnings and it happened. I want to tell Zimbabweans that the time for hiding is going to be over soon, because the political parties that are you trusting and thinking that they are going to say we will fight for them, this time they will not do it, because all political parties in South Africa are agreeing that Zimbabweans mostly Zimbabweans should go back to their country.
So guys, I didn't want to say it. I wanted you guys to hear it from somebody else, a fellow Zimbabweans. And guys, I love my Zimbabwean people. I've got a lot of Zimbabwean friends, colleagues, and so forth. The reality is, you need to fight for your country. Because you cannot allow such things to happen. You had an opportunity to defend this man and you let him hang.
In light of recent developments, I am announcing that I will be taking charge of Zimbabwe Public Police with immediate effect, with a focus on empowering young officers to lead and drive positive change within the organization and the country at large. I encourage all police officers to remain vigilant and dedicated to serving the people. To the people of Zimbabwe, I urge you to join us in putting aside our differences and working together towards a brighter future of our nation. We recognize that the survival and prosperity of our country depends on the active participation and engagement of all citizens.
Now, guys, one thing that we always hear, Africa unite, Africa unite, Africa unite. So this man goes, posts this online, calling for his countrymen and women, children, everyone to come and unite for the sole purpose of bettering their nation. Well,
our own Zimbabwean Mukwanazi did not last 12 hours after a conference. You see, that's the problem of watching too many videos on the internet. Now, this guy watch Mukwanazi do his press conference in South Africa, and he tried it in Zimbabwe, and it did not last 12 hours. He was already in police custody. He said, I am in charge of police right now in Zim, but now he's being charged himself. Hey, that's crazy.
And guys, you know what's the funny thing? You mock a man who came to support you guys and try to bring change for you guys. You see, when General Mukwanazi did what he did, the whole South Africa stood with him. Chris Exer went as far as doing this for him.
This is Lieutenant General Mukwanazi, the Provincial Commissioner of the South African Police Service in KwaZulu-Natal. I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude to the ex-user by the name of Chris Exer, who came up with an initiative to raise funds in support of the work that police are doing to keep criminals at bay. Although this original idea, supported by those who contributed the money, was to buy cars for myself, I appreciate the gesture and the thoughts of goodwill behind the idea of contributing money.
This is one of the biggest issues our countries have, and why patriotic individuals do not stand. They did not try to defend our countries. Because the reality is, they will leave you hanging. They will leave you hanging. Guys, listen, immigration is becoming such a big issue that a lot of nations are taking severe matters or severe decisions on handling immigration.
Now to that story on the shooting involving immigration agents. Tonight, we're hearing from one of the people inside that vehicle when it happened.
There are still a lot of unanswered questions about what led up to this shooting. Eyewitness News reporter Annabelle Munoz is in San Bernardino with the latest.
Martin says he was working with his father-in-law and 18-year-old son-in-law this morning when their vehicle was suddenly surrounded by unmarked cars and masked men.
They hopped out with their pistols already drawn. Then they proceeded to ask us to lower the window and open the doors.
Martin stresses they asked, but masked agents did not identify themselves. They stay in the locked car as agents insist they come out. Moments later, they shatter 2 windows.
Hey, you can't do that! Once the glasses were shattered, my father-in-law feared for his life. from his perspective, and so he I guess the car was already in drive, so he drove the vehicle away from where those agents were at.
3 gunshots can be heard.
Thank God the bullets didn't go through the truck. They just got stuck into the door, but they were aimed.
Imagine that. They want immigrants out of their country so badly that they broke their windows, and when they tried to escape, they shot them. Guys, it's hard. It is hard to go back to our homes. It is hard to go through what we are going through in other people's countries. But you know what is not hard? Being a law-abiding citizen. That should never be hard. And if that is difficult for you, that basically means that you're not a good human. And you have no business being within the space of people who are trying to do good for themselves. Simple as that. I don't know why we keep complicating this situation, guys, because it's not as complicated as it is. Why do we need to find ways to integrate people who don't want to be integrated, but rather want to maintain their cultures in other people's countries? Guys, look, moral of the story, continue to fight for your country and don't listen to idiots like us. Simple. What you are doing has an effect and people are feeling it and they're realizing it. Political parties no longer have power. The ANC, the DA, the EFF, MK, they are no longer leading. The fear that they have is that tomorrow South Africans will wake up and say, you know what, let's vote for that useless operation to do that. Let's vote for whoever March for March is associated to. And that's where their fear is. Their fear is the new GNU will not involve the ANC or the DA. It will involve parties that they do not see leading this country. Their fear is the party that will lead this country does not have the knowledge of international relations and all this. But South Africans don't care anymore. They don't care about politics. They don't care about international laws. All they care about is getting their country back. Unless you can promise and guarantee that to South Africans, you do not have their vote. I'm your boy Uncle P, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Cheers.
The country. And if you think you are very clever and wise, We Love Zimbabwe is still here. We will forgive you because we know what kind of people we are dealing with. And we don't have a problem with those people who will think twice. But people who are thinking that it is funny, trust me, there is a big pressure which is coming. They will use force door by door in the streets. No one is going to be safe. And I know most of us here, we have got more than 3 to 5 children. Zimbabweans, we are used of crying and blaming, looking for someone again to come to help us and fight for us so that we will stay long and more in South Africa. We have created a platform for us Zimbabweans who are living in South Africa, and we said this is a place where we need to come and negotiate, discuss and see ways to work as a nation and work together to build our own country for us peacefully with the leaders of Zimbabwe who are in Zimbabwe now. I urge you, my brothers and sisters, with love, that do not try to be wise and do not try to speak on social media, maybe to your father or to your mother or to your girlfriend, to your husband, and you say they will do nothing to us, because things is changing. The new generation in South Africa is not like the old generation. I am a leader of an organization called Crossroads Africa. I've been working with South Africans for some time now, and I've heard the pain and the grievances that they say towards the issues of foreigners in South Africa. And some cases in my community, if I was not part and parcel of the leadership, I'm telling you, a lot should have happened, although Zimbabweans don't appreciate. They think for us to stay in South Africa or for us to be safe in some other communities, it is because of them, or it's because South Africans are just not watching. South Africans don't want to kill us. They don't want to chase us. They want us to organize, prepare ourselves, and see ways to build our own nations. Let's not get them wrong, and let us not think that by being given this privilege of staying in South Africa for all these years, they are stupid and they are ignorant and they are not educated and they are dull and dumb. I think we are lacking to understand that when people give you a place to stay, warm, food, or whatever they give you, they are trying to be human beings. They are trying to meet you halfway until they get to a point where they get tired when they see that we, as the people that they are trying to assist, are actually taking advantage of their kindness. You know, I see Zimbabweans, mostly Shona people. I'm very worried about them because I am a Shona, and I'm very worried about mostly Shonas because I was not expecting that Shona people would insult me and talk like that to me. And I feel like I was going to feel better if it was Ndebele people who are scolding me and speaking against me, because maybe they still feel the pain of the Gukura Hunde that happened, and maybe they are in this group called Mtwakas, but not Shona people. But all these insults are not going to stop me to go to meet the officials in the government and propose for a smooth transaction and the campaign and educational programs to save your children, not you, because the older people, I know some people, they are jealous because they say that we are of same age, how can he do this? And some they say, how can it be done by a nobody person? I'm not worried about the older people. I'm worried about the children that we have given birth, that will live in South Africa with fake documents and hiding, that will live in South Africa being manipulated, being discriminated, being exploited, or undercharged and overcharged at some point in rentals that they pay, and at work they will be undercharged. So my love is not for those people who are chasing me away, it's for children. So let us send the messages to many people, because after meeting the South African officials, I'm also going to make my way to Zimbabwean officials and offices. Yes, I'm going to be rejected. I'm expecting rejection. I'm expecting a turn off. I'm expecting a lot, because remember, I'm dealing with people who are benefiting over some other people suffering, or I'm going to meet people who actually denying to save other people. As much as I'm being denied by even my own family who do not agree with what I'm doing, it means that this is a real call that I am following. I'm following a real call, and I am actually speaking to bring a better life to all Zimbabweans. I want to thank you, Zimbabweans, for watching, And I know that it will take time for us to be delivered from the trauma of hatred. That is the reason why it is easy for a Zimbabwean person to speak against me. I want to say thank you. May God bless you wherever you're watching.